Hi, welcome to this overview of Strategy Mapper for your trial of Strategy Mapper. What's included in the trial of Strategy Mapper? 30 days free trial, unlimited use, all your users can use Strategy Mapper. It's fully supported by point-in-time software, 8 hours of free training, in-user and administrator, free setup and configuration assistance. I highly recommend that you contact us so we can help you with the setup and the configuration to make sure that all the templates are built out and everything is set up correctly so you can be successful. We do have some other videos about how to set up the templates for Meeting Mapper and the other products within Strategy Mapper, and we'll share those with you. So what is Strategy Mapper? Strategy Mapper is 3 separate solutions that make up the product Strategy Mapper, and they're all included in Strategy Mapper. There's no add-ons that you have to buy. There's no add-ons that you have to include after you start your trial. It's all included. Account Mapper, which is simplified strategic account management. Opportunity Mapper, sales opportunity planning. Meeting Mapper, the tactical sales execution. You can use these independently, all together, or a mix. For example, account management, I want to use Account Mapper, Opportunity Mapper for opportunity planning. Meeting planning execution, I would use Meeting Mapper. Again, there's nothing that you have to do in the back end. They're already converged into one solution called Strategy Mapper, but you can use them independently or a mix. So first of all, what is your goal and how will you be successful? If you want to do account management, Account Mapper is the one that you need to leverage. If you want to do opportunity planning, then Opportunity Mapper would be the solution that you want to use initially, and then you can build it out in your trial. If meeting planning and execution, then Meeting Mapper. Meeting Mapper gathers the sales intelligence. I kind of highly recommend always using Meeting Mapper because that's going to really populate your Account Mapper and Opportunity Mapper with some great sales intelligence from the interactions that your team is having with the customer. That's very, very critical. Very easy to use, but you'll get some of this rich data to be able to populate some of the great dashboards that ship with the product. So in this next portion of the video, I will start with Account Mapper to go over how to use it, how to build an account plan, and things like that. Thank you. Hi, welcome to this portion of the video on Account Mapper. So I'll take you through how to select the template, how to create the plan, how to update the plan from Account Mapper. So what you can see, I am in Classic. However, we are the same in Classic and Lightning. We fully support Lightning and Salesforce 1. You may or may not have this screen when you click on Accounts. If you do, to access the account plan, you would click on the hyperlink. For those that don't have this, what I'll do is I'm going to go into the account details. And what I'll do is I click on Account Mapper. And the first time that I create the plan, I will get asked to select a template. All subsequent entries into the plan, I will not have to select the template. And I'll have all my templates here, and I'm going to say this is going to be a strategic account. And I click Save. What this is going to do based on the template is going to go ahead and build the plan. What we'll do is we'll start at the tabs here, and then we'll go into the buttons. So again, based on the template that you're using, you may or may not have some of these tabs or some of the buttons. Again, it's all based on the template. So right here, I'm on account details. You can see that I have the name of the account type, and some other information. This too is based on the template. There can be some custom fields that the administrator wanted to add to the template that you can add to this template on the account details. The next portion is if you had any partners you're working with and any opportunities. The next is how are we going to win? short-term plan, long-term plan, value proposition, and lessons learned. These can have total different titles in your template. These are configured by your organization, better meet your sales process, your sales vernacular, terminology that you use in sales. Now, based on the template that I used, you'll see that it built out some information. Now, I can change this information and it does not affect the template. It only affects my plan. Also, if I go ahead and somebody changes the template, adds a few things here, removes them, it will not affect your template because you've already started using it. So that is not affected. So they're not going to overwrite or delete or any type of modifications to these tabs right here once you start the template. Again, they're pre-populated with some information. I can change them anytime. I could bold, add a hyperlink, a picture. So it's very rich text format. Here you'll see a scoring. So scoring basically is 0 is not started, working is 50, and completed is 100. So let's say, for example, I'm working on how are we going to win. So this starts the scoring mechanism, and I'm going to show you that later in the demonstration. I'm going to move to short-term plan again. This is working. And I'm going to be working on my value prop or my long-term goal. Now I'm going to say my value prop is completed. Now because I said it's completed, I can go ahead and set up a recurring task to have me go back in and update this, because we all know that a lot of times when plans are created, they're never updated. They're stale, old information, they're of no use whatsoever. That's one of the biggest values of Strategy Mapper is you update the plan, not only from being kind of prompted to, but also from the meetings you're having with your customers. So I'm going to say, yeah, you know what, I do want to set up a recurring task, and I want to have it every 6 months. Value proposition normally doesn't change. I'm going to save it. Now what that's going to do, that's going to assign me some task in Salesforce on a recurring basis. And I can look on the recurring task right here. Lessons learned, I'm going to say this is working. I also can have my manager comments and my team comments. When I get up to the buttons, I'll show you that all you have to do is add your manager or the person responsible for this account from an executive perspective, or my team members, and I can send them a link and they can put their input on the plan. So no more am I really devising or creating a plan or strategy in a silo for an account. That could be a very strategic account, and I need a lot of input from different sources to be successful. I could even include somebody from a marketing team, product management. Give me their comments on the plan. Here, if I had any open activities, activity history, and I can also attach a file. For example, RFP, if I got one, really only pertains to an opportunity, but any kind of documentation that I want to put related to this account. Maybe some security information, maybe their quarterly report or something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and save my plan. I do, I like saving it often, so I make sure that I don't lose anything. Now the next one is a checklist. This is based on the template, so you may not even have this at all. What this is, what has to happen in an account to be successful based on maybe best practices from your team. You get together and go, hey, these things we know we have to do in an account. And we can also put some coaching advice per checklist. And it's color-coded green, yellow, red. Very easy to use. You can have, a number of these or none of these. The next is customer buying process. How does the customer buy? How are they going to buy something, and who at the customer is responsible? So I'm going to go ahead and add the buying processes. Again, so if you see this drop down, this is all based on what your organization has put in the drop down. So you have different things than this, more than this, almost exactly like this, but those are based on your customer. So first of all, we know the customer, they identify a problem. Now here, I can put at the customer who is responsible for this particular process. And I'm going to say it's Gordon here. I can also do new. So what is another process I want to put in here? I know that they review their options. I don't know who exactly does that. Maybe it's Gordon. I want to add another one and narrow down their possible solutions. Now let's say, for example, there's something that goes between number 2 and number 3. So I can put in here number 3, hit new, and now this will allow me to add here. So I don't have to go back and redo everything, and I can go ahead and add. And I can add as many of these as I want, and I don't have the complete buying process, so this is working. This is how we start scoring this. Some things are scored automatically based on what you're doing, and some things are scored manually. For example, scoring automatically. I'm going to jump back to the checklist, and I'm going to put this as green, and I'm going to save it. It means, our products meet the customer's requirements. The next are customer initiatives. These are very powerful. This is when you ask the question, hey, Mr. Customer, what are you going to do in the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months? And when you identify what they're going to do from an initiative, you can then say, okay, this is an opportunity for me to create an opportunity, start filling my pipeline, maybe get a step ahead of the competition because I've asked it early in the process of them even determining what they're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead, go into new, and I'm going to select an initiative. Again, this can be based on your organization from customer initiative perspective. And I'm going to go in here and let's say that they want to do a sales enablement platform. I can put some additional information here. And it must be Salesforce and Salesforce 1. I can put the time frame of it. Let's say they're looking at doing it in the current fiscal year Q4. Now I can end it here and do nothing but annotate it in the plan. Or I can say, you know what, I want to remind myself of this because now I want to create an initiative. This is going to be able for me to say, okay, when do I need to follow up? And maybe I'll even assign somebody else to follow up with it. And we'll discuss that when we get to the milestones. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. So now I've created a milestone for this particular initiative. I can even say or do, I want to create an opportunity. I want to start feeding my pipeline. So I can go in here and create a new opportunity. I'm going to say it's in a prospecting phase. Close date, end of December. I don't know the amount, owner, type. It's new. And the lead source, because I added it, I'm put customer initiative. What this allows me to do when I do select this customer initiative, I can now track how many opportunities or how much pipeline is being generated by simply asking the simple question, what are you going to do in the near to long-term future, and how can I help you? If you have any required fields here, we'll display those and you'll have to enter in the information. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. So what I've done in the customer initiative basically is I've created a milestone and I've created an opportunity already. I'm going to go ahead and save this. The next is account milestones. And because I've already created an account milestone here, I can assign it to somebody else or I'm going to assign it to myself. I'm even going to put a due date, which is the 1st of December, because that was based on when that initiative was going to be completed at the customer, which was Q4. I can put in an email notification to myself, but this actually creates a task for me in Salesforce, or I can assign it to somebody else. Now, when that task is completed, for example, in the account, it will update this milestone. Or if I complete it here, it will update the milestone here. And I'm not going to send an email notification, but I could if I wanted to. I also create another milestone. Let's go into here. And something that I need to do in this account to be successful is I need to schedule an executive briefing. But I'm not the one who schedules executive briefings. Maybe Mike is. I can put in here put some other information in here. I can put a date due. You know what? I really want to get that done by the end of July. Now, when I do this, it's going to create a task for him in Salesforce. When this task is completed or milestone is completed, I will get notified. If it's overdue, I'll get notified. So I'm going to go ahead and save that right now. So milestones, very easy to use and very critical for success within an account. The next are red flags. Red flags, I look at it kind of two ways. One way is I'm the account executive and I've identified things that can go wrong in this account. So I've annotated them. Not only have I, figured out what they are, I've identified them, but I've also have a mitigation plan. How am I going to mitigate this particular red flag? I'm going to find a champion. They will help me get to the decision makers. You can be very elaborate here. The second way that I look at this is I'm doing an account review with my manager. Manager comes in and says, hey, what happens if this? I can annotate it as a red flag, and I then can mitigate it. Now, I'm really getting that solid feedback from my manager, so we're really working together to create a great plan to move an account forward and to be successful. Build a great relationship. The next are notes. Let's say that, I had a quick call with a customer. It's not really a meeting. I had a quick call, but I just want to kind of annotate it. So I had a quick call to discuss an initial meeting. So I can timestamp that for today, or maybe, I had it yesterday. I need to go ahead and put it back to yesterday. This will add it as activity history in the account. Strategy Mapper, one of the real great things is it updates everything in Salesforce. Single input, multi-output. Now, because I want to do an initial meeting, I want to create a task for myself to be able to create this meeting. I can put a subject in here, or I can put, in here. When do I want to be reminded? I want to be reminded next Friday. But you know what? I really got to get this done by the middle of the month. Because remember, I have that executive briefing going on at the end of July, hopefully. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. So now I've created a task for me in Salesforce to be able to create this initial meeting or schedule it. This really depends upon what you've done already. For example, meetings and opportunities and things like that. So that's what this is right here. For example, charts, we'll look at revenue information, future, past, present, whatever, based on what you have in Salesforce. There's nothing here because we really haven't done anything with this account. There's no pipeline. We haven't lost. We haven't won. So now I've really started creating my plan based on the information that I have already with my customer. Now, the buttons are, I want to notify my manager. So what I can do in here is I can add my manager. For example, I'll be my own manager. And when I hit send, it will save this list. I can add multiple people here also. It doesn't have to be just one. Now, I have a team that I want to review this plan. So I can go in here and I can put a lot of folks in here to go ahead and update this plan. It could be marketing, it could be product development, product marketing, whoever I need. Now I send it. Now what's going to happen? They're going to get an email, and now they can go in this plan and start adding their comments in this team section right here. So that's the notify manager, notify team. We score this, by the way, if it's in the template. Scoring is really based on what's in the template, and I'll show you that. Here, an action plan. So you see that I've already done some things in the account, but how do I drive success within this account? Just based on what I need to do, what actions do I need to do? So I click on this, and this is a very short, concise document. I've got 33% of my checklist done. It's green. Here's what I need to do. Here are my milestones. Here are my red flags. Here are my opportunities that are open. I really haven't identified any of the key players yet. You really identify these using Meeting Mapper and gather this rich sales intelligence. Here's my open activities. So it's a very concise document of what I need to do to be successful and drive behavior within this account. And anywhere where you see our logo, you can rebrand or should have been rebrand for your company. The next is the playbook. Now the playbook is all-encompassing based on not only what's in the plan, but what's in Salesforce related to this account. For example, here's a playbook of today. They have one opportunity. They're a prospect, and I'm the owner. Here's a description of the account. Here is the estimated potential revenue. I don't have anything in the pipeline, so my delta is a negative 24,000. Here's my SWOT analysis right now. Don't have a lot in there because I really haven't got a lot of that sales intelligence using Meeting Mapper. My red flags, my plan, I've got a 0. How do I make this plan better? How do I raise the score? And these are things that I need to do to raise the score, along with all the other things included in the plan from a scoring perspective. Here's my checklist, my buying process, how are we going to win, my value proposition, lesson learned, milestones, initiative, notes, open activities, activity history. So what you can see right here is this is great. If I've got a VP of sales or my manager coming with me to an account, I can give them this document. They can read it. They know exactly what's going on in this account when we have this meeting. The other, if somebody quits, an account executive quits, they can take this information and have as much information as the person who just quit. What you'll see using Strategy Mapper, really disaster recovery for sales. You will have the same information that person who left. That's very critical to be able to maintain the momentum in an account or an opportunity. Next, we have our scoring. The scoring may look a little different based on your template, what we'll display, but you can see my score is 19 now. I've updated the score. What this score takes into effect is the score of my account plan. Here's my gap analysis, what I've got right here. As you can see, this was automatically scored, right? Created an initiative. Haven't done much with it. So that's this score, 57. Sales intelligence, this is really the Meeting Mapper information. And any opportunity that's using Opportunity Mapper will take all those scores, crunch the numbers, and then that will be added to your account health. Again, if you're only using Account Mapper, you may only see this account score. It really depends on what is displayed in the template. This also is based on the template. So if you don't have a checklist, we won't count that against you in the score. So it's only based on the template and what you have to get completed. I can create a new meeting, which is a scheduled meeting in the future. I can do an instant meeting. So I can have a meeting right now. I'm on the phone with the customer and I just want to get some great sales intelligence. Boom, I would do an instant meeting. Or here I can look at the org map of the organization right here. And once we start filling this out, we'll see more what can be in the org map from a contact perspective. So that's really all there is to using Account Mapper. If I go back, if I save it and I go back into the account, I'm going to go back in here. And if I just want to look at the plan again, all I have to do is click on Account Mapper. It will not ask me for that template. Let's say that, oh no, I've selected the wrong template. You can have your administrator delete this account from that template, and you could select another template to use in the event that you use the wrong one. So I can go in here. I want to add another milestone right here. I can put new because I'm updating my plan. That's critical. And I want to do a schedule account review, and I want to schedule this with my manager. And I want to have it, I want to have my meeting first, the account review maybe that's in August. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now that becomes a task for me in Salesforce. Very easy to use. If I go in here, let's say that I have completed I've scheduled this executive briefing, I've completed it, and I go look at my score, you'll see that my score has changed. I got 20 now, so I'm not doing too shabby. Another thing is, if you look at your playbook and the score is not correct, that's because you need to go in here and update this score, and then it will update that PDF. So that's really all there is to using Account Mapper. Very easy. Once we move to the next portions in the video, Opportunity Mapper and Meeting Mapper, then you'll see how everything kind of flows back when you use Meeting Mapper and it updates all the information. So, thank you, and get ready for Opportunity Mapper. Hi, welcome to the Opportunity Mapper portion of this video. As you can see, again, I'm in Classic, and we operate the same in Classic as we do in Lightning. And I want to go ahead and I want to create an opportunity plan with this opportunity SEP, which we created earlier in the video in Account Mapper. Again, the first time that I select a template or an opportunity plan, I've got to choose a template. So I'm going to click on Opportunity Mapper. It's going to ask me which template do I want to use, and I want to use the Frontal Strategy template. Click on Save, and it's going to go ahead and pre-populate it based on the template that I used. Not only, again, pre-populate the fields, but the tabs that I can use and the buttons, and what's in the detail portion of the plan. So I've got the owner, what type of opportunity is it, the stage, some great information right here. What template am I using? I've also, because I've already selected some products to sell the customer, I'm already pulling the product information in. If I had multiple products, it would list all the products or solutions that I have already selected for the opportunity, and then the quantity of that particular product. If I had a partner engage, it would show me the partner that I'm working with in this opportunity. Here is my strategy to win, my tactics, my value proposition. Again, they could be named differently depending upon the template that you used and your selling methodology or vernacular terms that you use. Here you can see that I've already got my strategy to win right here. I can use this. Again, if I change this, it does not affect the template. And if the template is changed after I started to use it, it will not affect any plan that I've created using that template. For example, it will not overwrite any of these. However, it would add tabs or buttons if they are selected, or remove them based on the template when that's modified. As you can see, again, the scoring right here, I'm working on this, I'm working on my tactics, and my value proposition is completed. Well, you'll notice based on Account Mapper is we don't set up a reoccurring task for the opportunity, because you should be working an opportunity all the time. So it should be updated very frequently based on your actions with your customers and what you're doing inside that opportunity. Here I've got my manager comments and my team comments in the open activities, and I can attach a file, RFP response, RFI response, product information would go along in this account plan, or opportunity plan, excuse me. Here I have my sales coaching. Sales coaching is based on the stage of the opportunity. Some of the powerful feature of Strategy Mapper is we all know that there's different selling or sales coaching. Could be based on a product, could be based on a solution, could be based on a vertical market, could be based in a location or region. So what allows the organization to do is put sales coaching for a particular stage of an opportunity. So because I'm using the frontal, these are the probing questions. If I had a template for example, Strategy Mapper, it would ask these questions here or display these questions. We'll display the current stage that the opportunity is in right here. I've got some others here, but again, we'll only display the current stage. I could change it if I wanted to. I could, edit it. It does not affect the template, only affect my plan. Customer selection process. You can say, well, where did this come from? I've already got 4 things. Well, that came from the account plan. Because I've already got the information in the account plan, I'm going to pre-populate any opportunity plan I have with, for example, the customer selection process. Because let's say this is a huge account. I don't own the account, but I own an opportunity. It's great to leverage what the account owner has gathered from an intelligence perspective at the account that I can leverage in my opportunities. And that's what you're seeing here. But my drop down could be completely different. It could be very involved. I could put, all the steps going from, when they make the selection or when they start us in this opportunity until it's completed, and who's responsible for that at the customer side, because we track the customer selection process with your selling process, where you're at, make sure they're kind of evened up. Excuse me. Here are the red flags. Again, they've been identified at the account level. I want to push those down to the opportunity level. I hit my mitigation plan. I can add them here. Again, if I want to add a new red flag based on this opportunity that I'm working, like I say right now, the buyer's out the last 2 weeks of the quarter. If it happens, how am I going to mitigate that? You know what? I'm going to get the PO in early because I've already forecast this opportunity for the end of the quarter and I can't get the check. That could be an issue. Again, great when I have my review with my manager. If they can play the devil's advocate, what happens if this happens? What are you going to do? And create a mitigation plan. So I'm getting that great feedback, and I'm from a user, from an account executive, I'm getting the feedback. From a manager, I'm really coaching and mentoring my sales teams. I'm actively engaged in the opportunities that I need to be engaged in to be able to drive revenue and make the number. Notes. If I want to put a quick note regarding this opportunity, I had a quick call. Oops. We need pricing. And I can put, create a follow-up task. Again, very easy to do. That allows me to really ensure that I am covering all my bases and I'm working these accounts very diligently. Due by the reminder at the end of the month. And I want it done by Friday, 7th. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Again, it creates a task for me in Salesforce. Opportunity milestone. This is very powerful. What this allows me to do in a template, so each template can be different. I could be, this template is really, the frontal strategy, but here's what I have to do in this opportunity to be successful. Now you can look at it from, what's success for an opportunity for me when I get my check or when the customer has fully deployed my product and they're happy. I can put all those in the milestones, and it's color coded. I can put a projected completion date. I can put when the date was completed. I can assign it to somebody. It's assigned to the qualification stage of this opportunity. That's based on the template. So it's really great to use. I'm going to go ahead and say this is done. The projected completion date is today, and I actually got it finished today. And I can even assign it to somebody. Maybe I'm working with, maybe I'm doing the opportunity when I've closed the deal, but I'm turning it over to professional services. I could then assign them a task to do in here, in the milestones. Because after all, I still own that opportunity. I'm still responsible for that account, even though professional services may be doing their portion of the opportunity. So again, this is very powerful. It can be based on a template. So template A could have different milestones than template B, for example. You can have as many as you need from a milestone perspective. Very powerful. More, again, if I've had meetings, if I've identified my competitors, really based on what you've done from a sales intelligence perspective using Meeting Mapper is going to display a lot of the items in this more. For the buttons, I can go back into the opportunity. I can save it. I like to save often. I can notify my manager here and send them a link. Notify my team. Again, I could have my sales engineer. I could have my field marketing. I could have my sales manager or their duly representative, my team lead. I can really start building out a great plan because I'm getting feedback and input from everybody in my organization. Very, very powerful. Here's my opportunity action plan. Again, what do I need to do in this opportunity to be successful? What stage are they in? To the close date, how many days until they close? Sales coaching. What is the current stage for coaching and the next stage? Because let's say I'm in a meeting with a customer and we're prospecting, and then I go, oh, I need to go automatically to qualification. Here are the questions that I need to ask for the qualification of the opportunity. So not only know what I'm doing now, but what I need to do here in the next stage. The customer process that's not been completed, my red flags, my milestones, the open opportunity milestones right here, and key players in the opportunity. Again, I gather a lot of that based on my sales intelligence with the customer. So that's my opportunity action plan. The next is my opportunity plan. This is very encompassing of the opportunity. So what opportunity is it? What's the decision date? I haven't figured out when they're going to decide, not when they're going to close, when they're going to decide, because now I can backward plan all my activities. What's the forecasted revenue? What's the probability? What's the close date? Description, here's my sales coaching right here. Situational awareness. The more that you use Strategy Mapper and gather this sales intelligence, we will pre-populate this situational awareness based on the product that you're selling, the industry of the customer, their state, their region, location, and present you with the probable pain points, obstacles, objections, your weaknesses, your strengths, and any opportunity where you've won that is like the one you're working right now. Again, the more you use Strategy Mapper, the more data that we can provide. And this is called situational awareness. Here are the milestones right here. The current situation, again, 0 because I haven't clicked on the account score yet. When I do that, it will update the score. Here's what I need to do. I need to identify the decision maker, the buyer, the champion, and the decision date. Because I've got 0 right here. I need to be able to build this great sales intelligence using Meeting Mapper. Solution score, I haven't really determined, what exactly their requirements are and how does my solutions match up with their requirements. Here's how my products and solutions meet their requirements are. Again, that's with the Meeting Mapper. Customer selection process, red flags, my notes. So really not a lot of information in here because I really haven't started getting that rich sales intelligence using Meeting Mapper. But it gives me a great place to start from to start planning my my plan or my strategy out for this opportunity. My opportunity score. So I've got the opportunity health, which is 19. And I've got my plan score, which is 57. And this is what takes into effect right here. Sales intelligence, I really haven't got anything yet. So that's why it's 0. And my solution score, because I haven't, linked up their requirements versus my products and how do we meet those requirements. So that's why you have the score of 19. The more information that I get, the scores goes up, the score goes up, the more likelihood I have of winning this opportunity and beating my competition. I can do a new meeting here or an instant meeting, or I can, look at the org map. We haven't started really building that out yet because we haven't had a meeting yet with the customer, but I can look at it right now. And I don't have any people in the opportunity because I haven't met with anybody, but I can add them here if I wanted to right now before I even met with them. But we're going to show you that using Meeting Mapper and show you the real power of this sales intelligence. So that's really all there is to using Opportunity Mapper. Again, if I want to go in and edit, I just have to go back into my opportunity and click on the Opportunity Mapper. I can look at the playbook. I can look at the action plan right from here. But again, I look in here and I see my plan and I can make the change. So the next portion of the video is going to be on Meeting Mapper and gathering this rich sales intelligence. So looking forward to the next portion of the video. Thank you very much. Hi, welcome to the Meeting Mapper portion of this video. But as you can see, I'm an opportunity mapper, and I want to go ahead and I want to schedule a meeting in the future with the customer. So I click on New Meeting. I can click on Instant Meeting. It will automatically take me into the meeting page. And I want to go ahead and I want to give it a title. I want to make sure I select the correct meeting template. Very critical. And this one's going to be the opportunity initial meeting. Again, make sure you choose the correct template. That's going to build out the meeting page for you. I know it's related to my opportunity. I don't have to worry about that. If I have some go-to-meeting information, I can cut and paste the URL here. What type of meeting is it? You know what? We're going to be remote. I'm just going to, dial in. They're going to dial into, go-to-meeting or whatever. If I don't have go-to-meeting, then based on what your company has put in here, this pick list, you can go ahead and choose what you're using. I could use the billing address or the shipping address, or I could add a custom address here and put all the information where we may be meeting. But I'll put the billing address even though we're meeting kind of remotely. When is it going to start? So I'm going to have the meeting start June 30th. I'm going to have it for 2 p.m. Duration is going to be an hour. Of course, I could have an hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 2 hours, whatever. Here are my meeting prerequisites right here that I have in the meeting. So when I choose this template, I'll get an email saying, hey, you should do these things before you have this meeting. Everything's good to go here, and I'm going to go ahead and save it. What this is going to do, it will now take me into the meeting page that was created based on the template. Because I can see, again, what buttons have been selected and shown, and my goal and objectives here based on the template. Also, what can I update in the opportunity? Again, it's a single entry, multi-output of strategy mapper. Like the name, I could change, if I'm in a meeting, we went to qualification from prospecting, I can change all that right here, and it will update the opportunity in real time. We also have a chatter group, so if you use chatter, every meeting creates its own chatter group, so I can add people from my team and create a chatter group and chatter real time during the meeting if needed. As you can see, it already brought me into the meeting, and I can move anywhere in the meeting page. You'll notice that I have my buttons across the top. I'll get into each one of those individually, but I want to kind of point out something that send invites and exports are grayed out. They have no function or ability until you save the meeting the initial time. Once you save the meeting, these can now be used to send invites and export the reports. So here's my buttons, here's my meeting page, and here's my meeting logistics, some of the information. If I had to change the time of the meeting or the date, I could change it here. And if I had invites, then I could send those updates. My goal and objectives again, and what can I change? So what I want to do is I want to kind of set my meeting up. I want to be able to say, I want to add a table, but this is a cloud because everybody, we're calling in. And I want to be able to add some, maybe people from my team or definitely from the customer. So I click on Add Attendee. This is individuals within my Salesforce organization. My team is right here. People in my company. Contacts are from the customer. For example, I want to add, we're having a good meeting. I want to add the Director of Sales North America, VP of Sales Operations, and VP of Sales America. I can also, if I wanted to, add a new contact right here. I can go in here and say, there's somebody new that I know is coming to the meeting. I don't have them in my contact list. I can put that right here. I don't know their title. I don't know their email address really, but I want to add them. I know at least that they're undecided because I haven't talked to them about the product. Their probably level of participation is interactive. And what role are they going to play? At least an evaluator. These roles can be changed based on your requirements. And I'll get into more of this here in a second. I just want to add an individual real quick, or a contact. Now I've added that contact to not only my meeting, but also to the account. And I'm going to go back in here and go back to my meeting. And now you'll see that I have myself and 4 contacts from the customer. And I can position them anywhere I want around the table. So I'm going to save it right now because I may want to be able to do some other things. So I'm going to save it. And what you're going to notice is that now this is green. Or the invites is available to be used. It's not green. Available to be used and export report, and I'm saved the meeting successfully. But there's a little bit more that I want to do before I send out my invites. For example, I want to go ahead and I want to add my role, and level of participation is good. I'm an account executive, and I'm also going to be the presenter. I'm going to save it. Again, I'm setting the meeting up for the future. Frank, I've already got him, and you're in. Well, why does he have a yellow flag? Based on an algorithm that we're running in the background, Frank is undecided and an evaluator, which means he can hurt me in this opportunity. So that's what the yellow flag is. If you saw somebody with a red flag, this person has enough decision-making power to say, we're done, there's no deal, we're moving with somebody else. So that's what these flags indicate. And these can hurt you in the scoring of your opportunity and account. So Jane right here. And I'm going to say, I've talked to Jane, and she's undecided. Level of participation is interactive based on her, talking to her. She is a decision maker and an evaluator. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Going to Johnny. Johnny is, I haven't talked to him, but at least, he's undecided, and I know he's at least an evaluator. This is just based on some assumptions that I have. Now, Gene, I've known, because he used my product before in another company, I know his stance is 4, but now why is he 4? So now I'm trying to take out the ambiguity and why my boss asked me, hey, why is somebody 4? He's leading with our solution. And I could have multiple of these. Level participation is good. He is a decision maker. He is an evaluator. He's also a champion. Oh, and I got to get the evaluator back over here. Why is he a champion? That's a very coveted role when you talk about an opportunity, who can really help you, or an account. Gives me frequent updates, and he may have given me some competitive information. I can add some additional information here, and I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now what you're going to see is Gene is now green. So that means he's for what I'm trying to do. So there is blue, which is a participant or somebody initially in the meeting with no role. Or I'm sorry, a participant. Orange is undecided or somebody who has no stance right now. Red is against. Yellow is neutral. Pink is a no-show, which means somebody said they'd be in a meeting and they weren't there, which could be very important. And green, of course, is for. So I've got all this great information right here with these contacts. I could do some more, but right now I want to go ahead and I want to send some invites to these individuals. So I click on invites. I'm sure my meeting time is correct. If I hit no there, then of course I'm not going to send my invites. But the time is right, is correct. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add, I can add everybody, or I can add certain individuals. This really comes in handy, if I'm meeting somewhere live with somebody in their office and they're already there and I want to send some invites out, real quick, I can do that. But I'm going to go ahead and add everybody. And I can put some information. I can also attach a file, and I can create an agenda. So if I wanted to, I click on Create Agenda, and I can go ahead and put some additional information in here, some of the requirements, and when I save it, it automatically will attach it to the meeting invite. I don't have to do anything else. And I don't want to do that right now, so I'm going to get out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and send this calendar invite. You don't have to do anything to Outlook or Google Mail or anything to be able to use this functionality that's within Salesforce. So now I'm going to go ahead and I sent all those invites, and people will get invites in their inbox. It's just an ICS file. They click on it and will add it to their calendar. Very easy. Now, because I used a template, if I click on notes, you can see that I have two types of notes. I have public notes. That's for everybody to use or to view. Nothing's going to get me in trouble. Here are internal notes. I could have my questions already prepared here based on the template. I could have additional information that I want to display to the user right here. These internal notes will not be sent to the customer. They're for internal use of my team only. If I had any meetings before this meeting, they would be listed here, and I could look at the public and internal notes of those meetings. So, for example, again, we talked about this disaster recovery for sales. I'm a new account executive on this account or opportunity. They've been working this opportunity for months. I start this opportunity in the same place that the one who just left. I have the same information about the competitors, notes, who's for, who's against, everything. There is no loss in time to close a deal. This is true business continuity. And I can also save it as a doc if I wanted to. And I'm going to go ahead and, I can put some initial questions, just some notes here. Save it. Now, the real power is what we call actionable intelligence. This is where you're going to start really getting some great information. So maybe based on some preliminary conversations with Gene, I found out that they're going to make their decision at the end of November. And yes, it is a budgeted project. Don't know if they're going to be a referenceable customer or not, but we'll wait and see, and I can do this right here. Again, a lot of this is based on the drop downs that are created or pick lists that are created for your organization. I don't have any actions yet, no decisions, but if I'd had a meeting before and there was already some actions or decisions selected, they would follow through to that next meeting and any subsequent meeting until I remove them. We don't feel it's our responsibility to remove information. That is the responsibility of the user when they no longer need it. It's still in the database, so it's still sales intelligence, but you'll just know where you're at from meeting to meeting to meeting. Customer requirements, talking to Gene, I got a couple requirements here. One of them, 100% native Salesforce. So Strategy Mapper is 100% native Salesforce. And I'm going to pick a product. Comes from my product list, Strategy Mapper. And our solution meets the requirements. So there's partner product solution, that's 100. I can bring in a partner. They can meet the solution fully, that's 100. I meet it, that's 100. Partially is 50. On the roadmap is 25 and does not is 0. This starts building that solution score. So I'm going to say meets requirements. I'm going to make a new requirement. Salesforce 1. Again, we meet that requirement fully. I can add into here based on their requirements. Competitors, again, talking to Gene, I've got some information on competitors, and it is Acme. And because somebody already identified Acme as a competitor in my organization, I already know some strengths and weaknesses for that competitor right here. Again, I can have as many competitors as there are. Also, based on some conversations with Gene, I know some of the pain points. They have a lack of account planning and management in Salesforce. Pardot, please contact us referenced if you're interested in Pardot integration with Strategy Mapper and Pardot. I could put some extra information about the pain point here. Again, it's all based on your drop down, what your team has created. I got a couple pain points here. Lack of sales opportunity planning and a lack of meeting planning and execution. So now I want to be able to get some more information that I know. Again, our strengths, we're 100% native Salesforce. We crush it on that. And we know we're a great value, a robust price. So all my strengths I can list here. What are our weaknesses? You know, if I had any weaknesses here, I would list them because I need to know my weakness on how to plan my strategy to combat that weakness or to mitigate that weakness. What are the obstacles? You know, one of the obstacles that Gene told me was the gatekeeper can be an issue. Even though I know he's my champion, I've still got to be able to get that executive level. And if I've got to contact this person, it could be an issue. And I can put some information in here, additional if I wanted to. So that's an obstacle. You know, what objections? You know, he said they're always an objection. They have no resources. So how are they going to deploy a solution if they have no resources? And this will probably be why buys. I just changed this because you can change the labels. Put new what will be success based on the conversations that I had preliminary with Gene is increase sales and reduce the cost of sales. So important. So I've got this great sales intelligence right here, even before I have my meeting. And additionally, what I've learned too is that based on the conversations that I have with Gene, is that I can start building out my organizational map. So I know that now Frank reports to Gene. And I'm going to add Sally. Even though I haven't met with Sally, I'm going to add her to my org map because what I found out is all these folks report to Sally. Gene reports to Sally. Jane. And Johnny. So now I built my organizational map right here. And these are based on the stance of the current meeting or the last time I met with these individuals. Sally is orange because I've never met with her. She's undecided. So that's my org map from what I know at the opportunity level right now. Of course, I can go in and I can put in an attachment. I can look at my opportunity plan, tables, add an objective if I wanted to, or my action plan. So now it's the day of the meeting, right? So you can open this up in the meeting. Nobody really minds if you use an iPad or a laptop in a meeting anymore. So you can take all your notes. I can add my actionable intelligence. Maybe I'm getting some more information. Or maybe they said, you know what? We would like to install in production. That's the action that we're going to take. And they're going to determine a pilot site and they're going to move forward. So those are decisions and actions that have happened right now. So I even could, add another competitor if I want to. We've identified another competitor in this company, in this opportunity. And nobody has met with XYZ yet, but I could add some information if I wanted to. And then other people would be able to use that. So that's really where I'm at right now. I've had a great meeting. I've got some, great notes, I could add some very robust information here. I could put, here is, I save all that. That's my notes. Again, you can have, I have copy and pasted a 72-page Word document here and had room left over. So you can add as many notes as you want. I could even go in and create a task for myself or anybody else in my organization. Let's say out of this meeting, so you already got my pricing. That came from Milestones. So I've got my task right here. I can put whatever I want. I can even change the subject if I wanted to. Schedule another meeting. I can even link it to a contact within this particular customer. I'll go down here. I'm going to put Sally. Whoops. in progress. I can put a description right here and save it. Now what this is doing, this is actually creating a task in Salesforce for me to go back and update. And if I look at, I can't see Sally here, it would show her that task is linked to her contact, even though she's not responsible for it. But that's just how the task works. So I'm done with my meeting. I'm going to score it, warm fuzzy in my tummy here. It went pretty well right here. I'm going to go ahead and save the meeting. And an important point to make here is that in order to update either an account plan or an opportunity plan in a meeting, you have to check the completed box. This is the trigger to update my plan. Again, this has to be checked in order to update your plan. I just had a meeting, I look at my plan, it's not updated, go back to the last meeting that you had and make sure that it's completed. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. And what that does, that's going to trigger to update my opportunity plan, which I'm going to go back into here in a second. Now, I could export my meeting report public. I mean, nobody's going to get in trouble. Right here, great little report. Just has, the notes, who attended, where, and when. That's it. But my boss, who, about to catch a flight, not logged into Salesforce, but knows I had a meeting, that I can export the private to them. This has everything that happened in the meeting. Why are they for? Why are they against? What are the goals? What are the objectives? Internal notes, task, actionable intelligence, customer requirements, competitors, pain points. All this information right here is in this export. And they say, whoa, I don't want to send that to the customer. How can I prevent that? So if you want to send the public export, what you'll notice, here are everybody's email address. Here's everybody that was in the meeting. You can send additional if you want to, but here's everybody that was in the meeting. If you looked at send private, I'm the only one here because I am in the company. It is my organization, right? That's my company. I'm the only one. Now I can send it to other individuals, but it would not go to the customer. You really want to have to do that. So that's how we prevent that. So I said that that we update everything in the opportunity. So I'm going to go back here. I'm moving from prospecting to qualification, and I'm going to save it. And now if I go back into the opportunity from here, go back to the opportunity, or I can go back into the account, but I want to go back into the opportunity because that's where this meeting is linked to. I'll see that now in my qualification stage, I've got my org map, I've got my score, the meeting, open activities, activity history, my contact roles, my competitors, products, notes and attachments. Everything is updated just based on having that meeting with Meeting Mapper. The single input, multi-output, you don't have to go back there and add anything. You're not going to, put one thing here and one thing there. It goes right in all the fields that it needs to go into. But even better yet, I want to look at my plan. What's different? So I'm going to go back into the opportunity plan. And again, it would update an account if this meeting was linked to the account. So just basically the same stuff here. My sales coaching, you now see that we've moved to qualification. Sales process hasn't changed really at all. Red flags, milestones, but the customer requirements has. But the big thing that we want to be able to look at is the playbook. Because the playbook has changed dramatically. Because now I've got this rich information right here. Situational awareness is starting to grow out. Here's my score. What do I need to do? Again, those yellow flags hurt you. I need to find a buyer, remove the obstacle objections because they hurt you. Solution score is looking really, really good. But I've got this great data right here. Now, if I wanted to, in the plan, I can go in and add mitigation. But that's just going back into your plan with the Opportunity Mapper. I just wanted to show you here that when you create a meeting and you update it and you complete it, that it does update the plan automatically so your plans are never out of date or stale. Thank you very much. So in closing, here's our contact information, www.pointintime.com. You can email us at sales@pointintime.com, or you can call us 214-509-8664. We're here to support you and make sure you're successful. Please reach out to us and let us help you do the setup, post-configuration support, train your team, train you. We really want to work with you and help you. So please contact us. Thank you and have a great day.